If you're a coach or service-based business and you're creating content right now, but you're not getting clients from it, this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to show you 7 different steps to create reels that get clients in 2025. Over the past 7 years, I worked with brands like BMW, Winners, Marshalls, HomeSense, Invisalign, Ford, Toyota, Acura, and more. I work with over 100 different brands from small businesses to Fortune 500 companies, and I help them with organic and paid. So I learned a ton. I learned what to do to actually get clients and what not to do to get clients. We got a lot of success, we had a lot of failure, and today I'm going to show you only what you need to know to actually get clients. So we're going to go through these 7 steps today: strategy, your digital image, content formats, content plan, reel structure, reels production, and how to get clients. Please, please, please don't go straight to the end to watch this section about how to get clients. Please, this doesn't make any sense because you need to watch the other 6. It will all make sense when it works together. And this is the only way for it to actually work. You can't just take one section and implement it and get a ton of clients. No, you got to do all of that to actually see results. So here's my promise to you. In the next 60 minutes, you will master the 20% that drives 80% of the results. And again, no fluff here. I'm just sharing what I learned, what I know works right now, what works for me because I'm getting all my clients off social media, and what works for my clients at the moment. And of course, what works for big brands out there and what they're implementing. All right, so first, why Reels? Why Reels and why not TikToks? Reels is the #1 way to get clients right now for free. We ran tons of different ads and spent millions of dollars. And even for Invisalign only, I actually led a team of 6 people in the agency, and I had a budget of $1.5 million, and I needed to redistribute it between different platforms. And still, Instagram was one of the main platforms for them. And that's not only for Invisalign, it was for other brands as well. Why? Why? Because that's where right now people are watching the most content and where they buy the most. It's easiest for you to get clients if you're on Instagram. Same thing with organic content. When we were creating content, the majority of effort would go to Instagram. TikTok is too fast-paced. Snapchat is just a weird platform, and we're not talking even about any other platforms because Instagram, again, is core for you to get clients and get them for free. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. Who's this for? This is for you if you have less than 1,000 followers right now, you're relying on organic content to attract clients, but you're struggling with consistency and conversion. It's also for you if you're a growth-based. This is also for you if you're an Instagram hustler, if you're a growth-focused business owner with 1,000+ followers and you're actively building your brand on Instagram right now, you're using organic content, maybe you're using some ads, but you're still working on scaling and you're not sure what kind of content you do need to create to actually scale. And number 3, you are content CEO. You treat your Instagram presence as a core part of your business strategy. You're focusing on scaling engagement and turning followers into paying clients. Maybe you already have 100,000 followers. Maybe you already have 10,000 followers. Not sure. But if that sounds like you, then this is for you. I'm going to show you the strategies that will help you convert your audience faster, what content you do need to create, and especially how to do that at scale. One thing that is really important for you to understand is your content is for nurturing. It's not for views. It's not for going viral and having everyone out there see your content. It's for nurturing because people, when they engage with you, when they relate to you, when they like you, they buy from you, right? And your content is supposed to build trust. So for example, here, this is some of the videos that I published a while ago, and I had a couple of these guys. Now, one of them my clients, and the second one probably about to be my client as well. You see what they say. They say, this is literally me. Oh my gosh, that sounds familiar, right? So the goal is for you to create content that will be relatable to your audience. You want people to see your content and feel that you understand them and you understand them really, really well. That's the goal for your content. But here's the hard truth. And some of the things that I hear really, really often, you gotta create videos so you get more views and go viral. No, one viral video can actually kill your account. I'm gonna tell you a story. I was working with somebody who was in real estate. If you don't know, I actually had a real estate marketing agency for a while, still work with realtors, but I don't do really an agency anymore. So I was working with this person and they were based in US. So they had a lot of followers, over 10,000, like not a lot, but over 10,000. So pretty good presence. And that person created a video that went viral and it messed up everything. It literally killed all the engagement and growth in a moment. So here's what happened. They created a video that was not relevant to their target audience. It was kind of ish relevant, but not really. And that video was shown to people in Asia, in Australia, in Argentina, in India, like different countries that were definitely not relevant to that person. Because they were selling real estate, then of course they're not gonna do anything with people that are in India right now, right? Unless they're like planning to come to US. So right after that video, all the content started shown to just different demographics in different locations. So algorithm just got really confused. If before it was showing their content to a specific audience in US, now it was all over the place. And it took us a while, like literally month, to actually try to fix it. Because if your video goes viral, there is a high potential that it will do the same to your account. And you'll be shown to a bunch of people, they don't care about you, and you will find it really hard to actually get clients from social media. So please stop doing all those trends. Please stop listening to all those Instagram gurus that talk about how to get more views, because the second you go viral, you might kill your account. Also, 10 reels, even viral ones, can give you 0 new followers, leads, or clients. People think that the second you start creating content, you're gonna just like do this. You're gonna have a bunch of cash, and now finally you see I've been struggling to create my content and now I'm doing it, and you're supposed to be getting clients every single day. Unfortunately, that's not it, especially if your content is not that good or relevant. So we're gonna talk about what you actually need to create. So the only strategy that really works right now specifically is to become the go-to source for valuable, consistent content in your niche. Also, that content needs to be insights-based. So we are kind of going away slightly from those educational videos that you've seen for a while now on Instagram, like talking head, educational videos are important, but now they're more insights based. So I'm sharing this video with you right now, but I'm talking from my experience. These are my insights. I'm not just ChatGPT and hey, give me like 5 different hooks. No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm sharing with you my insights based on my experience. So here's the strategy, the first step here. You gotta start by answering these questions. Who is actually watching your content? What value am I providing my content? And where is my content leading people? Okay, so who is actually watching my content? A lot of people out there are forgetting to ask that question, and they're just creating content for the sake of creating content. That's not a strategy. That's just content creation without a specific purpose. You got to think of your ideal avatar and the person who is sitting there and watching your content right now. If you're a fitness coach and you're targeting men that are trying to lose weight, that's the audience that you're talking to. If you are, for example, a career coach and you are helping people land jobs, you are talking to people that don't have jobs right now, or maybe you're talking to people that are trying to advance their career and get better jobs. But you gotta have the very specific avatar in your mind, because when you're creating your content is intended to break people questions, objections, limiting beliefs, pain points. And if you don't understand who you're talking to, it will be really hard for you to do that. That's where you'll start like ChatGPT and stuff and just throwing a bunch of stuff and see what sticks. And that's where you don't get results. Value. You gotta be valuable. You can't just, throw something out there and hope that people will engage. People will engage with the stuff that they will find valuable. They will save their videos, your videos, if they find them valuable. They will share your videos with friends if they find them valuable, right? And again, that will allow for more reach. But if that content is actually very specific to your target audience and your audience is engaging, then yes, you're expanding your reach. Yes, maybe you're, going almost viral, but you're going viral in a good way because your content is showing to the right audience. Where's my content leading people, right? So where are you even driving your audience? Because sometimes people don't understand the CTA here or the intention behind their content piece. You need to understand what are you trying to do? Like, what's the intention? So do you want people to go to your bio? Do you want people to, message you, DM you the keywords to get a lead magnet? What's the intention? That's really important for you to understand, because if you don't ask people to do something specific, they're not going to do it because they don't know. And just social media is so fast paced, they won't even have a minute to think. So you got to tell them exactly what you want them to do. Now, let's talk about audience and your targeting, right? And what kind of content you're actually creating. So, first, you can talk about keto cooking, right? How to create keto bars or how to create keto, whatever. I apologize. I'm not into keto. I do not know much about it, but this is just one of the diets that I know that people are using. I think the no carb one, I don't know, please don't quote me. Please correct me, put that in comments under this video. So you can be talking about keto, right? But this is this size of the audience. Even I don't know about keto, okay? And I try to like eat healthy and stuff. So if you're talking about keto, that's like this percentage of the audience. Now you can talk about low carb dieting. That's already a little bit wider, right? So you're kind of expanding your audience just a little bit. And in this case, that's actually good because in your content, you don't want to be like super, super specific. You want to be specific to people's pains and objections, but you don't want to be specific to a very like niche topic that nobody really understands and doesn't care about. Now you can talk about sustainable eating habits. That actually you talking to a larger group right now, right? So it's not men, it's not just women, it's not just people who are interested in healthy eating or exercising. It's people that are interested in sustainable eating habits, right? That's important for their health. And then even broader, you can talk about healthy lifestyle and longevity, right? So how to be healthy, how to live longer, and that's pretty much everyone. So when you're creating content, you don't want to be talking to everybody out there if you have a specific offer, right? But at the same time, you don't want to be talking to this audience, because if you're talking only to this audience, your videos will be shown to those people, but there's very unlikely that, you will expand your reach at all. And again, you don't want to go viral and get millions of views, but you still want to get some extra help from Instagram to, have some people visit your page and actually take a look at who you are, right? And later on get nurtured to become clients. So, for example, here, again, example for you. Your content piece could be how to track your ketone levels for optimal fat burning. Whoa, only this number of people know actually what that means, right? Or you can talk about how to lose weight without starving. So when I work with fitness coaches, for example, a lot of them love to do something like that. How to apply this thing to do that. Man, no, nobody understood what you just said. People are just trying to lose weight. Okay, so they don't understand these details yet. You need to sell them the outcome, and the outcome, how to lose weight without starving, right? You don't need to sell them a vehicle, and vehicle is whatever that sentence is, right? So you gotta sell them the outcome, what they actually gonna get. Here, example, best keto-friendly oils for cooking. Again, if you're saying that, you're talking to this small audience, right? People that are already into keto. What you want to say is 5 healthy foods that secretly slow down weight loss. Because again, why people do keto? They do keto so they can lose weight. They don't do this just for fun, right? There is a reason behind it. Same idea with job search, right? The goal is to get a job or land a better job. So when you talk about a super specific stuff like keywords and this and that in your resume, I mean, helpful, valuable, but not everyone understand that just yet. So you gotta not be as specific. You gotta like focus on the outcome and go a little bit wider first. But again, that wider still talks about pain points, questions, objections, limiting beliefs of your audience. And I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that later on. Okay, so now your exercise. You gotta identify your audience and focus on the biggest result they actually want. As I said, if you're trying to lose weight, your goal is weight loss, not to know the keto-friendly products. If you're trying to, land a new job, your goal is to land the job. It's not about some ATS, ATM system, blah, 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 blah. No, don't be specific. You are a service-based business. You are a coach. You're smart. You're really good at what you do. But you got to simplify this for your audience. They don't know these details yet, and they're going to find out only when they join your program. Right now, you're just overwhelming them. So please identify your audience and focus on the biggest results that they want. And what I'm asking you actually to do, and please do this, no cheating here, take a notebook or whatever you have on your desk, like piece of paper, and actually take a second to write this down. Because if you're watching this video and you're not doing the exercise, there's no value in that. If you're just doing your work and you put this on the background, then you're going to miss the point and you're actually not going to implement it. So please, piece of paper, pen, and you got 5 minutes. All right, so let's move on to next stage. Imagine you go to a dentist and he looks like this, right? You're probably coming into their place and you're like, whoa, man, maybe not getting my appointment done today, right? So your image online matters. Same idea here with a dentist, right? If you go to a dentist, that's not what you're expecting. So why do you think that Instagram or pretty much any other platform is different? Or this guy, I'll teach you how to lose weight. Well, is he actually qualified to do that or not, right? So you kind of just look at him and you're like, maybe I'll try on my own, or maybe I'll just ask someone else, right? So your image online matters. So if you're a fitness coach, you gotta show that you're a fitness coach. You gotta show that with your physique. You gotta show that in your content. If you're a fitness coach and you're sitting in your room and creating content, then I actually don't have as much trust for you. People build trust with you through your content. And that's why you gotta show yourself in the content in a way that people will understand that you're a professional. If you're a fitness coach, again, you got to show yourself, right? You're your own case study in this case. If you're a career coach, you got to show that you're landing jobs, you're talking to recruiters, you know what's going on. If you're a business coach, you got to show that, hey, I'm on a yacht, I have this kind of a lifestyle, because it's not just what you say in the content is important. It's how you say it and what you show. People buy not only with their ears, they also buy with their eyes, right? So you got to show the right image. This is also an example for you. You look at this guy, you think he's probably doing a podcast, right? Or probably something related to education. So the goal is for you to create content that people will understand and they will look at it and they will know what you do, even if they didn't look at your bio or actually read through anything, right? So if you look at this lady, you'll probably think, okay, well, she is probably a weight loss coach. She got a really good form. She has some before afters. She's showing some recipes, showing herself, showing more recipes, probably fitness coach, right? This guy, some lifestyle stuff, education, right? Or talking to people. This is maybe a podcast, again, likely like a business coach or somebody who does some educational stuff or online work. So this is really, really important. You gotta use the imagery that actually reflects what you do for a living and why people would trust you. Same thing with Hormozi. You can see that for him, it's probably business, educational content. He has a podcast, sold his last company for 46 million, right? His book, quotes, etc., etc., etc. So can people really understand your reels without sound or text? That's the question that you gotta ask yourself. And then if the answer is no, then you gotta change something in your content. Now let's talk about formats. So what kind of formats really perform well right now? A couple of years ago, they were like short videos, 10 seconds, and there was a lot of like text over on it. Unfortunately, the time of those videos has passed, and now that doesn't really work as well anymore. It kind of still works, but really not as well. So there's two different formats right now that work really, really well right now. One is talking head videos, when you just jump on camera and you talk, right? You have, and I will show you actually how to structure your script when you do your talking head videos. But this is one of the simplest formats. And actually, it puts a viewer in a learning mindset where they learn from you. And as I mentioned, important to implement some insights in your content as well. So they don't just learn tips and tricks, but they learn the insights from your business and they learn how to implement them. Voiceovers. This is a really, really good content type. It's a little bit more advanced. Personally, I don't really like it because it requires a lot of B-roll. So remember how those 2-3 years ago when they did like short videos and then there was a text over? Well, there was B-roll videos, and for that you would need like one short videos that is like 3-10 seconds. Now, what's actually working really well is videos that have a voiceover in them. So pretty much it's like a slideshow of different videos together, and it's a storytelling, right? So you have a voiceover in your video where you're describing what's happening in the video usually. It's not as simple to create. You do need to have a little bit more content. Of course, it's easier just to jump and start talking on a camera, right? But it is a really good content type that is performing really well right now. So highly recommend to check it out. So your exercise now is find 3-5 creators in your niche with a visual style you like that reflects what they do and save those videos for inspiration. And also take a look at the videos that people are creating, like talking head and voiceovers, and also save them as well if you like them and you find them relevant. There's a couple of things that you want to look at when you look at the videos of your competitors or as your creators. You want to look at reach. So how much people that video reached, how many shares, how many saves, right? And how much engagement. Those 4 metrics are the most important. There was an interview recently with Adam Mosseri, head of Instagram, and he literally said that those 4 things are the most important right now for you to actually understand the performance and potentially get attention of more people. All right. Let's move on. So now your content plan, right? So we got to create a content plan. What are we actually going to talk about? A lot of people are confused what to actually create in content. And I'm about to tell you exactly what you need to create. And by the time we're done with this section, you'll probably have 20 different ideas at least on what to create in your videos. So first is limiting beliefs of your ideal client persona. So ICP is the ideal client persona. So when you create content that breaks specific limiting beliefs of your audience, that content creates more trust with your audience. People trust you more. And again, they see that you are actually professional, you know what you're talking about. So what limiting beliefs could my audience have? So for example, again, coaches, service businesses, right? Limiting beliefs. Well, content creation is difficult. You can get clients from social media. It takes a long time to create content. What else? I need professional equipment to shoot content. All right. What else here? You gotta spend money on ads to get clients from social media. And there's like probably 1,000 more other ones, but these are just the ones that I just thought of that I really hear all the time from people that I work with, or not people that I work with, but the ones that I didn't work with, that converted in working with me. But those things I hear all the time. So my goal in my content is actually turn those limiting beliefs in empowering beliefs and explain to people, hey, no, like if you think content creation is difficult, it's actually not difficult. And here's why, right? Or for example, it takes a long time to create content. No, because here's the system to how you actually do it. So my job in my content to break those limiting beliefs that people have about the process that I'm selling to them. For example, losing weight. People think that you need to go to the gym every day. Maybe not. You need to be on restrictive dieting. No. You can't eat carbs. No. And you gotta break those beliefs in your content. So your task right now is to pause this video and write down 5 different limiting beliefs of your ideal client persona. Expert videos and big brands, okay? So as you're kind of studying out creating content, especially if you're just like below 1,000 followers, what you want to do, you want to capitalize on the existing content that's out there and brands that people know, because not a lot of people know you right now because you don't have a lot of followers, you don't have a lot of fans, I guess, on your social media. So what you want to do is actually find brands that everyone knows, and then you want to attach your brand to their brand. Here's exactly what you're gonna do. You're gonna go to a brand, for example, let's say beauty, right? You're a beauty influencer, you're just starting out, and you're gonna go to Kardashian page, and you're gonna find her beauty routine, and then you're gonna provide your expertise and your perspective on what she's doing, right? So everyone knows Kardashian. Not a lot of people know you right now, right? So you're taking someone who's popular and attaching yourself to that popularity. So that way your content is more interesting to more people, because not maybe everybody's will be interested in you, but they will be interested in Kardashian. Sorry, that was like a dumb example, but you know what I mean here, right? So find different brands that you can attach your brand to. So write down 5, or at least write down 5 different topics and those potential brands. It doesn't need to be one, it doesn't need to be a celebrity, but celebrity is a good example and usually widely used and super effective, because you can literally just, for example, in your fitness, you can go and talk about how Angelina Jolie lost 20 kilograms or 20 pounds in the last 3 months, right? Or if you're in real estate, you can talk about the house or mansion, or actually today I saw that on social media. So Mark Zuckerberg bought a mansion somewhere in US, right? So if you're a realtor, you could, for example, talk about that, because everybody's interested in Mark Zuckerberg, everybody's interested in his mansion, you are interested in reaching a wider audience that is interested in your topic. Competitors, right? So if you are stuck, you don't know what to create, what you want to do, you want to go to your competitors. You want to take a look who is out there creating content and competing with you for the audience that you want to convert, right? So you're going to go to your competitors and you're going to look at their social media, their reels. You're going to take a look at number of views, engagement, as I mentioned, right? So your like comments and stuff, saves and shares. So those 4 things, take a look and find videos that did exceed every of those points, right? And if that video actually exceeded, we know that video has a higher potential, right? So you're going to write down the topics that video used. The goal is not to steal people's content. I do not recommend stealing content. I know a lot of agencies out there that do that. I do not recommend this because honestly, that's just dumb. People go to social media and sometimes you literally see exactly the same video, but from different people. People are not dumb. They see those trends. They see how things happening on social, right? So please, if you're taking someone's idea is okay, but how you actually show it and how you sell it to your audience, that's different. So please, if you're steal ideas and your idea for a content piece, but not the actual implementation. Because again, people will know, and the second they see that you recreated something from your competitors, they will just have less trust for you. Now, next is objections, pains, and hesitation. That's where you will have probably at least 40, 50, maybe 100 different ideas, right? So when you talk to your clients, they throw a bunch of different objections at you, pain points, and hesitations. Again, let's take fitness. Look, that's an easy example, weight loss, right? Objections. Oh, I will not have time to lose weight. I'm very busy right now. I'm traveling a lot. Oh, I work from home. I have kids. I don't have time to go to the gym. Oh, you know what? I don't want to be eating separately from my family. That's important to me. I don't think that's going to work, right? So those are objections that you will usually hear on sales calls. When you go to sales calls, and probably you do, or maybe you just sell to clients in person or on the phone, not sure, it doesn't really matter. But the second you get objection, good, well done. +1 content idea for today. Objections are awesome. Why? Because those are just golden mines for your content. That's what marketing is telling you. Hey, here's my hesitation. This is what I'm struggling with. So your goal in your content piece to turn that objection into why it's dumb and they need to buy from you pretty much, right? And as I mentioned before, for example, oh yeah, I'm going to be traveling a lot. I can't eat healthy. It's going to be too complex and too expensive. Okay, your content piece talks about how you could have a meal prep done in 10 minutes if you're traveling every single day and make sure that's on a budget, for example. Again, I'm not a fitness coach, please no judge me here, but that would be a content idea that will address that objection. Pain points. Maybe, when they're trying to lose weight, the pain point is going to the gym. Maybe the pain point is communication with the family. Maybe the pain point is that they need to track calories. Maybe the pain point is that, they can figure out right now, the best strategy for them. So those are all pain points. Same idea, you gotta address them in your content. Hesitations, same thing, right? What if I don't lose weight? Or, what if I lose weight and then it's gonna come back? All those things are hesitations that again needs to be addressed in your content. Now, I'm giving away my secret here, how to come up with 50 different objections, pain points, hesitation, and you can throw limiting beliefs in there too. How? Go to this video, to the description, and steal a prompt that will allow you to generate 50 plus different content ideas based on objections, pain points, hesitation, and limiting beliefs. You don't need much. You just need to plug in the prompt into ChatGPT and it's going to give you gold. Okay, we tested a lot of different prompts and this one is awesome. So please just go steal it and please write everything down. Trigger content. Ooh, that's my favorite content type. I don't implement it as much, will be honest with you. But this content triggers some emotions and controversy. For example, something happened in I don't know, like something happened in the world, okay? And there is two different sides. One says, ooh, that is awful, horrible. Oh my gosh, all these people that think that are awful. And then the other side is like, ooh, you guys are awful. No, 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 that's not how it works, right? There's a lot of things like this you'll see with celebrities when, someone starts like dating somebody or whatever, they broke up, somebody hit somebody, like, anyways, there's a bunch of stuff. Your goal is to take something that people know of and almost turn that in a piece that will trigger controversy, perhaps, and also trigger those conversations in comments. The more engagement you have from haters or not from haters, the more your content is going to be shown to your audience and people that will likely become your clients as well. Okay, so this trigger content could be also like myth busting, right? People think that you can't lose weight while you're eating McDonald's, or you cannot eat McDonald's while you're on like weight loss program. And you're saying, no, when I was losing weight, I lost 50 pounds because I was eating McDonald's every single day. And everybody's in DMs and in comments gonna start, ooh, this is awful, you can't do that, that's not healthy, blah, blah, blah. And then the rest gonna be, oh, this is awesome idea, maybe I should do that too, right? So this is a content that evokes some emotion and evokes some engagement and controversy that is really important for engagement. Now, how to. So how-to is an interesting content type, but again, really important, it needs to be insights-based. It can't be just how to lose weight. Google it, don't say how to lose weight, or how to buy a house in 2025. Cool, Google, ChatGPT, Gemini, go just find out. Like that's not what you want to put out. What you want to put out is something super specific to your audience, but again, not like keto diet related, right? So like, for example, how to eat healthy and lose 3 pounds a day while you're traveling. So again, you're using some insights, you using knowledge from your audience, and you're showing them how they can have a solution to their potential question or objection or pain point that they have, right? So that would be your how-to content. How to create how-to content, just take limiting belief, question, objection, pain point, and pretty much just throw how to before it. People like, oh, I can't lose weight while I'm traveling. How to lose weight while you're traveling, right? Oh, I can't eat healthy because I have a big family and they all eat unhealthy. How to eat healthy when you have family that eats unhealthy, right? You just put how to before, and that's your content type. So that's like unlimited source of ideas right there. Insights-based content, as I mentioned, similar to how to, but maybe it's a little bit more advanced. So for example, I built a social media marketing agency, and here's 5 things that you do need to know before you launch yours. You're like, interesting. Or I spent $1.5 million on Invisalign paid social campaign, and here's 3 things that you do need to avoid in your campaign, because if you don't, it will kill your return on ad spend. Interesting. Very insights-based, right? Or I build this business to blah, 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 and here's what you need to know to do blah, 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 right? So insights-based, your insights you're using to educate your audience. Experiments. 100-day challenge, you've probably seen those. Oh, we all going to be creating reels for 100 days. We're all going to be losing weight. We're all going to be making money and getting to 10K from zero. We're all going to be creating content, right? So experiments are cool and actually super effective. Why? Because people like to follow and see the progression. They like to see how you're going to get from 0 to 10,000, from 0 to 20 kilograms in like 90 days. So challenges are really important. But here's a caveat here. You got to actually stick to them, right? So if you're saying I'm going to do 100-day challenge, you kind of stuck there for 100 days doing just that. I mean, you can do more, but like what I'm trying to say here, that like if you commit, you commit, man. So you actually got to do it now. So your exercise, write down 10 content ideas for your content based your ideal client persona. 10, probably should have said 100, because honestly, that is very realistic. Still, you got a lot of ideas now, you know exactly what to create, and you can have 100 different ideas, and now the goal is just to kind of blend them, right? So you got ideas. Now, how do you actually create content? So this is a talking head video script structure that we use. I use this one for myself. And again, I get all my clients off social media. So please use just that. First is title. 5 foods that make you fat. If you're trying to lose fat, this is a good topic to cover, right? So it's clear, and it's clear what video is about. And this is what's called a hook. So first sentence is really important, is your hook. You gotta hook your audience so they actually are interested in watching. If you start a video saying, "Hi, my name is Jarina, and today I'm gonna be talking about," that's already 6 seconds. You already lost like 70% of your audience because they're not interested and they don't really care. You gotta start with something that will make them stop and make them want to watch. Now trigger and build up. I'm certainly not judging fat people, but that's how I was. I had a hard time living. I couldn't even walk upstairs. So here's themed reinforcement to keep the viewer interested, right? So this is just the build up. So this is kind of just expanding on that first sentence that talks about your personal experience, something you know, and kind of like implementation of a little bit of a storytelling, because people like stories, people buy when they hear stories. Then you give in value, so the solution. So you actually list the foods, cinnamon buns, sugars, teas, whatever. If you're a fitness coach, you will know. And conclusion, if you even just eliminate sugar in your tea and these foods, you will eat 500 calories less or lose up to 3 pounds in a month. And then the last one is just CTA. Subscribe to my blog and post the menu in the comments, and I'll send you an example of balanced diet, right? So as I mentioned earlier, your CTA is extremely important because you got to drive people somewhere. They are not here just to watch. We don't want them just to watch. We want them to convert. We want them to reach out. We want to increase our chances to close them, right? Because content, again, is for nurturing. When people see themselves in the content, they trust you more and they will likely to buy from you. But if you can get them right away to your DMs, that is even perfect, right? Even better, just put a CTA so they actually DM you. So now quickly, let's talk about super common mistakes in your reels that I see all the time with people that, come to me, and stuff that we always fix. So first is not a single clear thought. I see people creating content and they're like all over the place. They start with talking about content, then they talk about sales, then they talk about leads, then they talk about whatever. One idea for one video. Please don't overcomplicate this. Top 10 mistakes leaders make. Even this, top 10 mistakes leaders make. Imagine the consumer trying to understand this from one video. That's too much. That's too much info, right? If you're talking about 15 different things, it's overwhelming. Even if you're talking about 10 different things on a specific topic, still overwhelming. No, one idea in one video. Explain each mistake in a separate video. Please don't overcomplicate this. We're not trying to, put everything out there. We gotta explain ourselves so people understand. The goal is not to confuse them. All right, number 2, long intro. And that's what I already mentioned, right? So as a psychologist, sorry, it's like 10:43 p.m. right now. As a psychologist, I often hear from my clients that their husbands don't always pay attention to them. 4 seconds gone. Instead, what you want to do, you want to say, why isn't your husband paying attention to you? That's it. You're done. You hook their attention. They're here. They're listening, right? So please do not include storytelling. Like I just showed you, your hook needs to be direct, quick, and catch people's attention right away. Long sentences. I do not have an example for that here, but that's okay. I guess that also goes with this one, like long sentences, right? Like you also want to have a shorter sentence because this one is pretty damn long. But also when you talk, you don't want to be talking for like 2 minutes. 2 minutes and it's one sentence. No, you want to be short and sweet, and your content needs to be written and your script needs to be written in a way so it's very like conversational, right? So the way I talk to you right now, that's what people should be seeing in my content too. So please do not overcomplicate this. No long sentences. People will just not comprehend what you're saying. No catch a headline, a hook. That's what I mentioned here as well. Please, 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 hook is really important. So 5 different ways for you to make over 100,000 a month in 2025. Hook. How to get clients from Instagram 2025 without spending tons of money on ads and something else. Hook. right? So this is really, really important. This is an example here for you. I don't know if it's going to open. Let's take a look. Excuse me, would you take this side bowl or double it to pass it on to next person? Awesome. You see, people are interested. They are listening to her in real life, but you're also watching this because it's interesting. You want to know what's going to happen, and the hook was actually interesting, right? All right, couple more things here. Obvious things. Obvious. Things Captain Obvious, right? Sometimes people say something in their content, you're like, really? Interesting. You know, like, oh, you, for example, need to create content to get clients. Really? I didn't know. Or, for example, you need to eat less sugar to lose weight. Didn't know that a fact, right? So like you gotta put something that people don't know, because if you're putting stuff that people already know, again, less trust for you, they don't take you as trustworthy and not really as an expert. So you gotta break their limiting beliefs, and you gotta actually talk about things that it's hard to Google for them, right? And if they Google it, they might not find it online. Too much theory, not enough practice. Sometimes people just talk about what, but you got to also talk about how. You got to talk about how to do it and show some examples, right? Like the actual implementation. There's a lot of coaches out there say that you got to talk only about what and you sell the how. I don't fully agree with this, because when you just say what, yes, it catches people's attention. Yes, they're curious, but they're not gonna buy yet. They gotta see the insights. You gotta give them a little bit of a spoiler. You gotta give them a little bit of like a trailer to this movie, so they can kind of get a taste of what they're gonna get when they start working with you. So I believe you do need to get a little bit of a how, and this is what's working really well for us right now. No example or visualization. If you are about fitness, you're about beauty, you gotta show stuff. You can't just say stuff, because when people look at your content, it's not just what they hear, it's also what they see, right? So it's really, really important to show visually. Yes, this requires a little bit more work, but believe me, it's worth it. That's a really good combination of, visual stuff plus also an explanation, because this is also a voiceover video. Like I told you before, right? Voiceover, some action happening, the person is doing something, there's a voiceover on the back end. All right. The last thing, content production. Actually, maybe not the last. Not the last. We got one more. Content production, filming process. You got to set up a shooting day, select 2-3 locations, take 3-5 looks, and shoot reels. And please, you're not trying to be perfect. You're trying to actually complete your task of shooting your content. So these steps are really important. So please don't miss them. And please don't forget about actually planning this in advance, because if you show up to start shooting and you haven't planned anything, believe me, it's going to be really, really hard for you to actually complete anything. I've seen my clients do this all the time before we started working together, where they're like, yep, gonna shoot in the gym today. They go to the gym and like, so what am I gonna do here? Right? No, you gotta plan this. You gotta show up there, quickly realize, okay, I'm gonna be doing it here. I need to take this shirt with me and this and that, and this is gonna work at this time and at that time. You gotta plan, man. You can't just do it. Even for me to record this video, I needed to come up with this presentation. I need to make sure I had a structure. I needed to go through this presentation to make sure every piece makes sense and I'm providing value to you. So you gotta have a little bit of planning, okay? And as I mentioned, please don't try to make things perfect. Just try to do it. Focus on inputs. How often to post? The more often you post, the better, okay? So right now with algorithm and with a lot of competition out there, the more you publish, the better. So I'm not going to tell you 2 times a week, 3 times a week. The more, the better, but quality over quantity. Okay. If you are just producing content for the sake of producing content, then yeah, please don't do that. That will not get you anything. But if your content is actually really good and you've done a podcast and then you got a bunch of talking heads and you got a content manager that you're working with, then Then publish every day or 2 times a day. I know people that actually publish 5 times a day. I know Hormozy puts out like 230 content pieces a month. 230, if I'm not mistaken. But I think I heard that number specifically. Google it if you want. Let me know in the comments if I'm right. But they do really quality content. They don't just put out something for the sake of just putting out, right? So quality over quantity, or you're going to lose trust with your audience. Now, getting new clients. Reels, great way to grab attention, keep people engaged, but we also got to have a funnel. Funnel is really important. And here's 2 funnels that we are using right now that work really well. So you're creating a reel, you're driving people to pinned post on your account, then you're sending them to DMs and you're sending them to Zoom. Example, my reel is about weight loss again, right? And it says, hey, go to my pinned post to get a video that breaks down exactly what you need to do to lose 50 pounds before summer, right? So that's the next destination. Person goes to your pinned post. Then from that video, they're watching this video, like this video that you're watching right now, right? Like a longer format maybe. They're watching that video and they're going into DMs. And then they go to Zoom. Or maybe they went to a pinned post and then you said, hey, you had something valuable in the pinned post. And then you said, hey, go to my DMs. And then you're driving them to Zoom to book an appointment. So that would be the funnel, right? Again, they're watching the reel, they're going to your pinned post, then they're going to your DMs to get something from you, and then they are booking a Zoom call with you. Second funnel is a reel. So you produce video, then you said, hey, DM me the word wait, and I will send you something, right? So they send you keyword, you start a conversation with them in DM messages, you send them a lead magnet, whatever they ask for when they ask for the word wait. And then, for example, you sell them a product that is $99, right? So something that is a lead magnet, super cheap, that you just gonna get the information pretty much, and that's it, right? But this is a really good funnel if you want to collect their email addresses, their phone numbers, so you can follow up with them later, follow up with a newsletter and stuff like that. So again, one more time, reel, they send you keyword, like for example, wait, they end up in your DMs, you send them a lead magnet, and then you sell them a product for $9.99, right? So what's a lead magnet real quick? If you don't know, if you're a little bit newer, lead magnet is something of a value that you offer that people can buy from you or get from you. That will be a ton of value to them. And it's not like revealing the whole strategy of yours, but it's something, again, super, super valuable. So lead magnet could be your useful article, lesson, some toolkit, the checklist. Like for example, for real estate, when I had an agency, what we did a lot is like, okay, this is a first-time home buyer's guide, or here's a checklist for things you need to know and remember before you buy your home, or something like that, okay? So this would be your lead magnet. Advice, when you do send people a lead magnet, you got to make sure they follow you first, okay? It's really important because that will help you grow 3 times faster with your social. So there is a platform, it's called ManyChat. ManyChat is a platform like a chat bot. So you can literally go in there and add all your keywords and it's going to automatically send everything. So you don't manually need to send anything to anyone. It's going to do this automatically for you. So I will send some examples also under this video so it makes more sense. And I will also actually add additional video for these funnels that explain a little bit more detail how they're going to function on your Instagram, okay? And last couple of things here. So success in content isn't about going viral. It's about showing up consistently, providing value, and building trust over time. Your content is going to nurture your audience. Your content will convert. People that go on sales calls with me, they show up, right? And I pitch them and I show them the value of what I offer, right? And I help them place a content manager on their team. For those people, it's easy to sell because they know what I offer and they know why it's valuable. Why? They literally quote my reels. When people come to your sales call and quote your reels from your Instagram, that's how you know your stuff is working, right? People come to me directly from my reels. They just reach out and they ask for more information. That's how I also know it converts, right? So if you implement everything that's in this video and you're just providing consistent value, you're going to build trust over time. This will work for you. This will get you clients. It's easy to get clients, especially if you're putting out the right stuff and you're doing it consistently. Okay. And yeah, the last thing is just one more time to reiterate that you don't ask yourself, how do I make a viral reel? You ask yourself how to post 3 reels a week all year long. Focus on inputs every single day. If you create one video and it didn't get you clients, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. It might take you 10, might take you 20, but focus on inputs, focus on putting out the quality stuff, and trust me, it converts. Okay. I've done this for many years with a lot of clients. We tested this in different markets. I worked with clients in the US, in Canada, in Europe. I just got a client from Belgium. I have a client from Germany. I have a client from Spain. This works. This is universal truth. It works everywhere. So please just focus on the inputs, focus on doing the stuff, and it will convert and it will work for you. Go to description under this video. I have something that I want to give away to you. So please go to description. And if you're interested to learn more about how to add a content manager that will take care of all the content that we talked about today for you, they will script, research, write all the scripts. They will edit your videos, do design, do the publishing, and do all of that for like $350 a month USD. If you're interested to learn more, book a call with me. But if you're not interested yet, go get a little surprise under this video. And if you're interested in a surprise and booking a call, you can do both. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. And please go to comment section to give me a little bit of a feedback. I would love to know what you actually thought of this video. Thank you.